Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my review for a new Netflix original Polish film. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name because it's tricky. I asked Google and Google was like, this is what it sounds like, and so I'm not going to even try that. But for now, give me a thumbs up, do subscribe. We're doing a little bit different this time around. We're filming on my mobile phone because my Mac died today, so this film review is late, I'm sorry, but let's jump into it. So this film tries to pull from so many subgenres of old school martial art films, UFC films like Never Back Down, Bloodsport, Kickboxer. You mash those all together and it's trying to be some of those but never really lands on its feet of what it wants to be. The opening of this film is incredible. We have our protagonist who is fighting in a UFC match, and it's incredible filmmaking because you get to see most of the fight. It is still quite quickly cut, but for the majority of the fight, you get to feel every punch and nick and headbutt and leg grab and arm bar. You get to see all of that, which is great, which is really what I was hoping the film was going to be. However, then the film takes a massive sidestep and it ends up wanting to be Roadhouse. I'm mentioning all 80s films. You can see my age demographic when I mention those old school films, but it feels like it's trying to be those films all mashed in together and never really lands on its feet. We don't actually have a big UFC fight again in the whole of the film. There is another couple of other fights during the film, but it's in bars and clubs or during the story of giving our bad guy a kind of background story. Although he is the typical generic bad guy, I want to control all the land and therefore I'm going to kick everybody out and you will just have to listen to me and I'm the bad guy because. And so we have the generic bad guy doing bad guy things, and we have our anti-hero who comes back and reforming past relationships. There are things in this film that also just I don't believe, and when you have a film like this, you definitely need your audience to believe what's going on. And he meets up a long lost kind of girlfriend and not girlfriend. He sees her across the street, and at that moment there's a purse snatcher and she kicks his ass in that moment, and it's just not believable that that would happen as he finds her. Like, the fact that that happened in that moment is just really annoying. Later on, our main protagonist gets cut along the chest a couple of times. A few moments later, you see him holding down by his, like, well, for me it's my belly, for him it's his abs. But yeah, it was just like incorrect placement. The continuity is wrong. So you have little bits of that you could normally forgive. But when you have a film that's really trying to find its feet and doesn't ever really land of knowing what it's trying to be, or it's trying to be something different but doesn't really quite get there, that can take you out of it. There are things to enjoy about this film, and I think the acting for the most part is okay. The dialogue is okay. Definitely watch it in its original language if you can. But for the most part, I just couldn't wait for this film to end, and it's only an hour and a half long, so that gives you an idea of the pacing of this film. It kind of drags in the middle, trying to give you the meat of the story, but you don't really care about the meat of the story. For this type of film, especially with the poster showing you a UFC film, that's what you expect when you're going into that. You're not going in to watch that film. It's lying to you from the trailer, from the poster. It's not a UFC film. It's a sort of fighty thriller film with a Rocky, Bloodsport, Roadhouse element to it. So yeah, I'm going to give this a C minus D plus. I'm not sure. I know others really enjoyed this, and that's fine, but for me, I was just like, when will it end? I just wanted it to pick just one theme, and that would have been great. All right, thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.